free to run. I'm free to dance. I'm free to live for you. I am free. Are you free? Do you have freedoms? Now, as human beings, we don't like to be tied up. When we are growing up, we even told our parents that we need freedom. We need more freedom. I don't need curfew. I'm 18. I have grown up. I don't need curfew. So today we are going to see about certain freedoms because we are human beings. Certain freedoms that are given to us because we are human beings. So in UDHR, we saw till Article 11 yesterday, and we're going to see Article from 12 to 21 today. Freedom from interference with privacy of family, home, and correspondence. So everyone, that all human beings, that we have the freedom to be, to protect our privacy, to protect our family and home and our things that are corresponding to that. Article number 13, everyone has the right to freedom of movement and residence within the borders of each state and country. That is, everyone has the right to move freely in his own country or even out of his country. No one can restrict anyone's movement to any place. Article 14. Everyone has the right to seek asylum in when they are persecuted. So we know Dalai Lama, they entered Tibet, and when they went as refugees. And now we also heard about Rohingya Muslims who had to go through a lot before they were taken as refugees. Which means, when you are persecuted in your own country or the country that you have citizenship, you have the right to flee and seek asylum from another country. Article 15. Right to a nationality and freedom to change it. In the month of December and January, the whole of India was fighting for something. We were united for something. That was for CAA, Citizenship Amendment Act. Because of, if you are a human being of particular religion, probably you might not be able to continue your citizenship as an Indian, and you might even be asked to leave the country, or you need to call yourself as a refugee or things like that. So people were outraged. How can we prove this? Or how can we show all that? But UDHR Article 15 says everyone has a right to nationality. And if I want to change my nationality, and I have that right to do that as well. So no one can deprive anyone of being a citizen of a country, unless and until if they are law offenders and they have committed a heinous crime. Even then, it's rare cases where they take away someone's citizenship. But you cannot deprive of someone having his or her nationality. Article 16. Right to marriage and family. So here UDHR talks about 3 things. Men and women of full age without any limitation due to race, nationality or religion have the right to marry and to found a family. So I would like to quote an incident that happened, and it shook whole of Tamil Nadu. Kausalya and Shankar. Kausalya is a girl who was married to this man called Shankar, and who is above 18, which means the government itself believes that she is able to make her own decision. and she was killed his husband was killed in front of her eyes because he was not from the same community. But here you have this right where you can marry anyone you want, irrespective of the race, nationality, religion. But we sometimes, most of the times, we need to come together and we need to even fight or demand for these rights. And the second thing this article 16 talks about is marriage shall be entered into only with the free and full consent of the intending spouses. It won't, according to Article 16 of UDHR, it doesn't matter if both the families agree, it doesn't matter if the society agree, but the intending spouses, they need to agree. Both the spouses need to agree to start this marriage or to enter into this marriage. Number 3 of Article 16 is family is a natural and a fundamental unit of society and is entitled to protection by society and the state. Family is a basic primary group. When there is disorder in the family, there is a disorder in the society. So in order to maintain the social order in the society, you need social security for the family. You need laws and family welfare programs to protect the family, and so that you can have a better society, you can have better citizens. It is much easier to correct a child than to correct an adult. That's the whole process of whole idea of when we say protect the family. Article 17. Before we go to Article 17, some of you might ask me this question: what is men and women of full age? Here, every country has certain age which they say is the age only after you can get married to. The reason that it has said is to abolish child marriages and also to promote healthy family life. So in India, it is 18 and 21, 18 for women and 21 for men. And now recently, people were talking, certain governments, certain political parties were talking in bringing down the marriable age from 21 for boys, bringing down the marriable age of men. So, we hope that doesn't happen. But the reason they have kept it above 18 is they think it's the age where they can make their own decision and they can support each other. Article 17, right to own property. Everyone has the right to own property alone as well as in association with others. You can own a property of, on your own, or you can form groups from an association and have your property. No one shall deprive you of your property. People, in Salem, they were fighting about the national highways that was going to happen. It's happening now. The entire project, people are revolting against it. It's because their property, their land, their agriculture land has been taken and it is going to be replaced by national highways. So it is their property, and Article 17 of UDHR says, no one shall be arbitrarily, without no reason, deprived of his property. Article 18. Freedom of belief and religion. Okay, let's talk for this for a moment. All of us as human beings has the right to believe in anything that we want. Has the right to change our beliefs any time of our life. Okay, I was born as a Christian, but I feel more drawn to a particular religion or a particular belief. I am free to do that. And if I want to say that I am an atheist, I don't believe in something, that is my belief again. I'm free to do that. And while I have these beliefs, I am allowed to practice it publicly or privately with my community or alone. So again, no one can say, only you can worship here or only you can do this here. It's a right to have freedom of thought, conscience, and religion. Article 19. Freedom of opinion and expression. We would have come across articles in news, we would have come across, in movies that journalists or even normal common citizens are being killed or persecuted because they spoke against something, or they voiced out something, or they said something. Everyone has a right to freedom of opinion and expression. This right includes freedom to hold opinions without interference and to seek, receive, and impart information and ideas through any media, regardless of frontiers. But also we have laws which says a right to be laws that which talks about when we go against the law or when we speak against the law. That is not what we are talking about. But sometimes we have to actually speak against the law. If we take CAA for instance, it is a law, but that was not doing anyone any good. So we have to speak. We have to raise our voice. If you as we are talking this, if you look into the definition of democracy or definition of a democratic government, is that democracy gives people to protest, to voice out their opinion, to go on rallies or these things, to exhibit their to express themselves on how they feel about particular thing. But while we are saying this protest and all that, it should be ahimsa based, non-violence based. Because you're protesting, you cannot cause damage to a public property, or you cannot kill someone, or you cannot do something. Then the law has to come in, which again, it's going to take away what you're trying to express. Even if your intentions are good, if you are going to damage and cause more harm to the public than the actual law that you are talking about, then the government has to interfere and to take away that freedom. But again, many times most of the countries who call ourselves as democratic countries, sometimes we feel that we are deprived of this freedom to express our opinion and to hold our opinions as well. Article 20. Right of peaceful assembly and association. Everyone has a right to freedom of peaceful assembly and association, and no one may be compelled to belong to an association. We have traders association, we have farmers association, we have so many association, and you are free to form one, you are free to be in one, and at the same time you don't want to be in one, you don't have to be in one. The point is, if this is your freedom, it's given to you. You have this freedom either to be in or to be out. And no one can say what you should be in one or you shouldn't be in one. Article 21, a right to take part in government, or right to take part in political part. Again, here, Article 21 talks about three things. Everyone has the right to take part in the government of his country, directly or through freely chosen representatives, which means you can stand for elections, or you have the right to vote and select your representatives. That's the first thing. And the second thing, everyone has a right to equal access to public service in his country. You are a student, you have equal access to public service in your country. You are a mother, you have equal access to public service in your country. You are a migrant worker, you have equal access to public service in your country. You are a businessman, a political member of you are a leader of a political party. You have access to public service. So it doesn't matter what is your social status, it doesn't matter what is your economical status, it doesn't matter what is your power and influence in the society. Irrespective of all that, you have equal access to public service in your country. The third one, the will of the people shall be the basis of the authority of the government. This will shall be expressed in periodic and genuine elections, which shall be by universal and equal suffrage and shall be held by secret vote or by equivalent free voting procedures. Is basically the election that we're talking about should be periodic. No one can claim themselves as a ruler of a particular country for their lifetime. This is given so that people again have the power to change if the leader they elected is not good for them. Okay, because which is a great thing in the history of the world itself. Because if we look back into the history, monarchy. More than that, people who had power, people who were able to kill or to take over, they were the ones who were ruling the nations. But now the will of the people, what people decide, who people want as their leaders, they can choose their government. But now, even now, you can think of so many incidents where it has went the other way. But let us remember that this is a right. And after hearing from Article 1 to Article 21, it might be an discovery. Certain rights might have been a discovery for all of us. But you might wonder why then we have to go through what we are going through. It's because you need to remember that these are rights and these things have not been changed into a law yet. You need the protection of government. So with this, we'll finish for today and we'll see the remaining articles in the coming video. Thank you.